Buddy, thanks again for joining us on this episode of Paranormal Planet. I'm Jack Carey, your host and the founder of the Paranormal Intelligence Agency.com. Come by and see us at the URL at the bottom of the screen there for exclusive reports, and those are meant for people that are very, very into paranormal research, some of the deeper aspects and stuff that we just can't cover here on the show. So I've got some interesting tidbits for you guys tonight, some new and interesting insights into the mystery of the Black Pyramid in Alaska. Perhaps many of you probably have heard of that before. And it's going to be one of those episodes where if you take all of the pieces and kind of put them together, it fits into a much larger whole of paranormal activity that's going on. But first of all, I didn't have a show last week, and that's because many of you know I'm in the process of relocating, and I was in Oklahoma securing some housing, and that will put me in very close proximity to the 1,000-acre preserve that I've been given sole access to in order to hopefully bring about a conclusion to the Bigfoot mystery. So that's going to be something that you will begin to see a lot of over the summer is me getting back into the field and doing a lot of pretty hardcore crypto work. This area that we will be in is ground zero for that area of activity. So it's going to be a really interesting summer for me and for you guys. Me and my team are excited, my field agents, and excited and nervous at the same time because we know exactly what's there. So tonight we're going to talk about the Black Pyramid in Alaska. This is something that's been kind of on the fringes of paranormal research. You may have heard rumors or a little bit of this or that. You may even have been following Linda Moulton Howe and her insiders who have been giving her some inside testimony, not only on the Black Pyramid in Alaska, but also the Black Pyramid apparently that's in Antarctica, along with a lot of other ruins that appear to be of a species of humanoid that wasn't human. And that's something that I cover in my film on this channel. That is the aliens in Antarctica. So if you want a lot of detail about who those people were, where they came from, and what happened to them, I cover it all in that particular film. So the Black Pyramid represents a very large piece that fits into this bigger whole of pyramids in general, of who built them, of their purpose, of really the destiny of mankind and the future of what's about to happen to us as a species. All of it kind of falls on that. I have, as you guys know, if you've seen the last 3 or 4 episodes, I've been discussing the OSAP program, the findings of the scientists involved and the intelligence agents involved with that program, and how that's led to the study of what's called the hitchhiker effect. This is where we kind of have an interesting question in front of us. So according to their observations, which are really good, There is a singular intelligence, and it is a shapeshifter, and it apparently can take on any kind of, image, even ETs. Where does that activity end as far as the hitchhiker effect and real ET activity take place? In other words, we have actual physical evidence of extraterrestrial races, and that evidence doesn't appear to have been part of this overall hitchhiker effect. So it's one of those things that's really perplexing, not only to them but to any paranormal investigator. And I bring that up because the pyramids are kind of part of that. Um, if the pyramids aren't part of this intelligence that they're dealing with, that we as a species are dealing with, that takes on all of these various forms, then we're dealing with also ETs in our hard reality matrix, just like we are. And that's important because it has all kinds of philosophical implications for us as a species. And what I mean by that is, if all of that phenomenon, all the ET phenomenon that mankind's been witnessing for millennia, is in fact this intelligence perpetrating itself as that, and it's native to this planet, then we don't have any proof at all or evidence of other alien species visiting this planet, nor have our scientists detected anything. And that leads us down the really kind of spooky rabbit hole of maybe perhaps we are alone in this universe. You see what I'm getting at? If it's not that, and you have actual physical ETs that are not part of this apparently innate intelligence of this planet, then that leads us to the conclusion that the universe is probably filled with life. And that makes a lot more sense to us than something like us being alone in an infinite universe with this weird intelligence perpetrating itself as things that it isn't. So if you've not seen those episodes, go back and take a look, because it's something that I'm going to be touching on in a very deep way, because of the profound nature of what that's doing to paranormal research. And, really, now that it's been recognized that that's what's been going on, that's a huge step in human consciousness. So in a few future episodes, I'll be going back to that subject, and that's important. Also, I wanted to clarify, somebody contacted me on the YouTube channel, and they had a question about me saying that the Dogman mystery had been solved. So I figured there's probably some confusion out there. If you watch the episode titled Paranormal Virus, you will have the details of what I'm talking about. In short, the 5 intelligence agents involved with OSAP all took home hitchhiker effect paranormal activity. One of those CIA agents, known only as Axelrod, had family members that had 2 Dogman encounters, and those Dogman encounters were part of this overall hitchhiker effect of other paranormal activity. In other words, it was not a standalone phenomenon. It was part of something much larger that was going on, a phenomenon that perpetrates itself in that form for some unknown reason. And that's a whole lot different than saying there's a breeding population of dogmen, let's say, in the world. And in that regard, it very much sort of puts the mystery of the origin of the dogmen to rest. And because of that, you really can see the activity of dogmen as being a signpost of this intelligence and perpetrating itself like that. And that's interesting because the farmer who owns the field next to Great Road, when he planted cameras, the number one thing that he recorded was UFO activity. So that's how all of that comes about. So to get started on the pyramid, I recorded a little sequence for you guys. The recording's not that great. This isn't something that is available online, so I had to go by other means in order to record it. You may want to turn up the volume on your computers because the volume isn't that great. However, you must listen to what this gentleman has to say. And this is one of the insiders who had talked to Linda Moulton Howe, and now he has been featured on a documentary on the Travel Channel. And I'm going to bring that up and show you that sequence. Yeah, it'll take just a second here, guys. Find the exact sequence because I had to kind of finagle the recording of this. Let's see here. It's interesting because this gentleman is actually trying to find one of my tools right here. He's actually a Army intelligence specialist, and he had a top secret security clearance, which allowed him access to this. All right, so hopefully you guys, it's good to see you all on the board there, were able to ascertain what that gentleman was talking about. That is one of the insiders, as I said. And it's interesting because this runs parallel. You heard the guy wonder what this pyramid was for. Of course, we all wonder what it's for. The interesting thing about that is that in 1982, which predates all of this, insiders, etc., one of the world's best remote viewers, a man named Joseph McMoneagle, was given a target. And that target apparently was one of these Black Pyramids. And I have all of this on a investigative film on my channel here. And I know I haven't done one of those in a while, and that's just been a matter of time restriction, trying to get this moved on. But I've got 3 or 4 that I will get to producing for you guys. And those are the more in-depth videos than the live show. But I wanted to play you a sequence of that video, and this is of the remote viewing with Joseph McMoneagle, in which he covers what these things are and what they're used for.
Is transfer, or it just transfers something. But it's an integral part of this whole cobweb of jigsaw puzzle. I get just an overwhelming feeling of the big 3C, command, control, and communications. If you equate this to a cobweb, every single angle in the cobweb represents a location on the cobweb. And I get an impression that the spider has not turned his whole cobweb on yet. Also, there's more than just these 4 locations. I have an immediate vision of seabed locations. I honestly believe that there are seabed locations.
Very excited, coherent pulses of positive charge.
Okay, so
particles. It's never been used.
What I want to do here is I'm going to pause this for a second. And I want to draw your attention to something.
Power.
Just transfer.
Right here. See where he says this is buried?
It just
and
transfers.
This is one of those pyramids.
But it's an
This
transfer
is connected to this huge facility, and it is facilities.
But it's an integral part of this.
So, what we have
feeling of the big
is,
three.
let me go ahead and turn that off here. So what we have here is him. Oh my God, did no sound on that? Sound, please. Could you not hear the video? Is that it? Video was silent. Okay, that's not a problem. I want you guys to hear. This is Joseph McMoneagle, and the point I was pointing out was where he's talking about the pyramid and how it's a power source and what it's connected to.
And the point.
So, hang on just a second here. Sorry, like I said, I'm in a spot where I don't normally do these shows, and it's been super time restrictive. So let's see here. Again, this is called Remote Viewers, Alien Bases, and Vanishings. And hang on just a second, I will share this with you. So, thanks, Space Bonds. All right, here you guys go. Now that the sound is playing. Let's do this.
I've seen it vanish without a trace. Then there's something else.
I don't think that the future that the Disney company is building today is the future that Walt Disney.
My raw impressions are that each one of these target sites is like a different spoke in a wheel. It's like a different part of the jigsaw puzzle. and each one is dormant. It does nothing unless it's commanded to do something. And then all it does is transfer, or it just transfers something.
All right, so it's right there that I'm talking about, and you can see this triangle here. He detected it was a buried pyramid, and he even put that it was buried right here. That's crucial because that's what all of the insider testimony has said that's come out in the last few years. So that is some very interesting corroboration, considering that that was done in 1982 by the only remote viewer to ever receive a silver star for his remote viewing abilities while he was part of the Stargate program. And he is the one who is used most today by the United States government to do their remote viewings, although he is a private citizen now. So, yeah. So what you have here is one of the world's finest remote viewers, describing in 1982 a pyramid buried, and not that it's alone, but that there were other sites around the world, and that they formed a network, and that this network was powered by these black pyramids. Now, that matches insider testimony by way of Linda Moulton Howe, in that her insiders were telling her that it was a power source and that they were sent there to study it, etc. So, what it looks like is these black pyramids connect some sort of alien network that was built long, long ago. McMoneagle describes that there are human-like people, humanoids, at these locations, but there are not a lot of them. That he felt like they were waiting for something, and for what, he did not know. He describes, as you will watch that film, hopefully he describes it all as being kind of like a spider web, and with a central spider in charge, and the web has never been activated. That it apparently was, they were waiting for something. That's a scary proposition, isn't it? So anyway, that is something that has been on my mind lately, as the Black Pyramids have been an ongoing mystery. And now we may, in fact, have an answer as to what they are. They're a power source. We don't know how they work. Perhaps the government does. And we don't know exactly who built them. But it's logical to conclude that there is some connection with the pyramids in Giza and with, I think, perhaps the pyramids in Antarctica and the pyramids that were, both at the Cydonia location, pointed out by Richard C. Hoagland, but remote viewers also have seen a humanoid type of people who lived there and who constructed pyramid-like structures. So that's all how all of that fits together. If you watch the video on this channel called Aliens in Antarctica, that will put the pieces together with the remote viewing video I just showed you, and you'll be able to see how all of that fits together. And I just thought it was something that is fascinating. It gives us a deeper insight into what's going on this planet. And again, I have to point out that this seems to be something completely different than the intelligence behind the hitchhiker effect. And that's really where my paranormal research has led me, and we're going to begin to dissect that here on the show, and hopefully glean a lot of insight as to what's going on, and more importantly, how to document it in such a way that we can learn more about it. Now, I find it interesting, and I will end the show with this, is that There was a Stargate remote viewer. His name was Ed Dames, Major Ed Dames. And he honestly has never been considered to be one of the better remote viewers or, more talented remote viewers. By all accounts, he was a pain in the ass to deal with. However, after the Stargate program, he began to teach classes. He may even today. He's the guy that predicted the so-called kill shot from the sun that was going to take down the worldwide grid. That never happened. So there's a big miss. But I point all of that out because it was Ed Dames and a group of remote viewers that he had blind targeted who told him that there was some sort of alien device going around the Earth, and that this alien device is able to project down onto the Earth, kind of like a hologram, but made out of material. You know what I mean? Like it can project a physical being onto the planet. His remote viewers described it as, and this was, believe it or not, the target was Bigfoot. It's insane. But they said that they believed that this machine, this alien device, was able to record the very life essence of an animal or plant and then reproject that down onto the ground for some unknown reason. However, they got the impression, and this is what really stood out to me with all of the hitchhiker phenomenon that's been recorded. They got the impression that whatever was behind these projections was an alien intelligence, and that once we began to ask the question of what was causing the projections, then it would be time for them to reveal themselves, for what that's worth. So that's tonight's show, and next week I'm going to be showing you guys something. We're going to do something fun, and I'm going to show you guys glitches in the Matrix caught on camera, and we're going to discuss the holographic universe theory, and we're going to plug some of these clips into that theory and see if they seem to corroborate. And the implications of all of that are astounding, and we'll be talking about that too. So see you next Thursday night, same time, same place. And until then, you guys be safe out there. It's a crazy world.